Hey, what's up everybody? This is Evan Karthi from evankarthi.com. Today we are going to look at Roku stock. Past couple days it's been going down super hard and fast, and so I wanted to look into it to see what's going on with it, not just from the fundamental side. Well, the reason why from the news side is Comcast just said that, or last week, that they're going to start offering a free streaming box like Roku offers for their box for streaming services. And now Comcast is going to offer that for free. So this is really the first direct competition Roku has had. But you can read about more the analysis about that in my post that this video is going to go with to go over all the charts for it. And then in the post there'll be some other news about Roku if you don't know much about them, kind of what they do, where they're from, and how they make their money for it. Not totally in depth, but just enough to get you to know, what they're all about. I've owned several in my life. I have several installed on my TVs in my house. It's a great product, but it's only a matter of time before someone started becoming a direct competitor to them. And now it looks like Comcast is the first one. So without further ado, let me update this because I just updated the headline right here. Yeah, there you go. Another slow day in the S&P 500. So not much going on right there, but it's getting ready to snap one way or the other. And based upon my other S&P analysis, I'm looking for the market to head lower. But let's look at Roku right now. So look at a couple charts, a couple different time frames. The first one right here we have is the 78.6 long, whether it's 15-minute or 1 hour chart, it doesn't matter. But you can see down here, there's a pivot low, pivot high, came down, hit the 78. Let me just bring it down there. Came down, hit the 78, and then went up and hit the 123.6 right there, the orange line. And then we just draw the Fibonacci tracing level up. So then what we're looking for is price comes down, hits 78.6, the exit's at 50%, never hit that. Came down, hit the 100, that moves the exit to the 78.6, never hit that. And then once it comes down and hits the 261.8 Fibonacci extension level, then move the exit up here to the 100%. And after that, there's no more exits to move from it. So that is where the exit is going to stay. Now, I always have mine a little bit lower than the current hard exit. Say the hard exit's 158.65. I have mine at, I believe, 157. And yes, this is a trade. Full disclosure, I got in with today as I was going over the stock charts for Roku for this video and for my blog post. I saw this setup right here and it was too good to pass up. So I got in around 107. Currently it's 107.32. And the exit I have set up for myself, I believe, is 157. Yeah, 157 is where I have my exit to get out of there right there. But if price keeps on going lower to it, no big deal. I'll definitely be scaling in the lower it gets. So right now it's 107. If it's down to around 90 or so, get in again. If it gets in around 80, get in again, 70 again, just so on and so on, until it comes back up and hits the 156 or somewhere like that. At least until I get in some pretty good profit for it, because just based on the setup right here, really good setup. For this trade setup, the 78.6 long. So this is a live trade and one that I just got in today, and going to look to scale in some more if price continues to go lower, because like I said, the exit isn't moving from this level right here. So even if it goes down lower, not a big deal. I'll just keep scaling into it. Now let's go look at the, let's see, the next one you have right here is the daily chart. Get this taken care of. Let me take off this Fibonacci retracement level and I'll move this over to the side. So here we have over here, this is the daily long right here, and I'm going to zoom in here in just a second. You see there's pivot low, there's pivot high, price came down to 78.6, moved up here to the top. Now what I'm going to do is zoom in a little closer so I get pretty accurate on the lows from it. So we have 1835, 1843, good enough for the daily. And then we have up here at the high 176.55, 176.66, good enough. All right, so this is another 78.6 trade. Now this trade right here is not a trade that is live. I'm gonna just draw the initial, where the entry box would be for it right here. And so what we're waiting on for this one right here, as long as this pivot point high up here holds for it, where we anchored the top of the Fibonacci retracement level, As long as that holds, then the current entry would be down here at the 78.6 level, which is 52.29 around there. We'll just say 52.50, nice round number. So when it hits that, then the exit's going to be just short of the 50% extension level. Actually, it's 97.55, which is the hard exit. But like I said, always make sure I get out a little bit sooner just to ensure I get filled, because I've seen it plenty of times where price comes up, touches the level enough to complete the trade, but not enough to have enough contracts to get filled to get you out of the trade. So it'd be something probably like 95.50, something like that. Make sure you get out of there. But then if price continues to go down, I'll just draw a little arrow down here. Where did my arrow go? That's not it. Oh, here it is. So price continues to go lower, blows through the 78.6, comes down, hits the 100% level at 18.43. Then you move the exit just below the 78.6, so the exit would be around, I'll probably have it around $51, $51.50, something like that. Just make sure you get out of it right there. And then after that, that'd be the last time you move the exit. So even if price continued to go down lower, which couldn't go down too much lower because there's about the $0 level right there, definitely looking to get in. So this is a trade. Another one I'm going to be watching here. I think the 1 hour chart will definitely come and get filled before it drops all the way down to $52. But if it does, assuming that pivot point high up here holds and it doesn't go any higher because then you just move your Fibonacci retracement level up, then that is the setup for that one right there. One thing I'd like to point out as another reason why I got in this trade on the 1 hour chart, and on the 1 hour chart, is if you look at the daily chart right here, you see this huge gap all the way up here from about 103.91 up to about 117.44. Well, it's just a matter of time for that thing came and got filled, especially when there's a in an uptrend, there's a huge gap up like that. 90% of the time, price comes back and get filled. You'll see yesterday, price came down and did just that. Look at that, just ticked it. Barely to complete it, but that's good enough for it to be complete. So it completed that gap right there, which is very big. So that was another reason why on the 1 hour chart for the long trade I'm in, another reason why I got in for it. But also one other thing to note over here is way down here, there is a small little gap down here from about 34.41 up to about 36.71. So something to keep in mind. It doesn't necessarily guarantee that for a gap like this is going to come back and get filled, because obviously it's nowhere near in relation to this size right here, but just something to be aware of right here. If price does truly, if this trade does get initiated, comes down here, hits the 78.6, then I would definitely look for further weakness down here to fill this gap down to around the $34 level. So just something to keep in mind for this trade setup right here. And then finally, and again, this trade isn't live, we're still waiting on it for it to come down and initiate and get down here. Finally, we're going to look at the parabolic curve, because I like parabolic curves when it's something like, well, obviously the price goes parabolic just like that. Now, for me, they are subjective, so I don't trade off them specifically, but they are a good barometer for me for where I believe price could be headed next. And because the reason why they're so subjective is I try to get at least 3 touches when drawing them for them. So sometimes you kind of have to manipulate the lines. So you see how I'm kind of massaging it right here, just trying to get those touches on it right there. So there we go. So that looks pretty good right there. Let me just try to get a little bit closer, move this in a tad, and move this one in a tad right there. So that's pretty good for this curve right here, if this is a true curve. And these parabolic curves, they're pretty much the same thing as trend lines. They look great after the fact, but during it, when you try and trade live off of it, they can be very subjective, so I can get myself in trouble. So this is why this is just one thing that I really just look for it as to determine the way the trend, and if perhaps the trend is broken. So if this truly is a parabolic curve right here, you got 1 touch here, 2 touch here, 3 touches here, looking pretty good. Well, price is already broken out of the parabolic curve, closed below it, so definitely broken. And so let me just draw this up here, move the box up a little bit. So when a parabolic curve gets broken right there, the target we're looking for is a 50% retracement level. As you can see, price is extremely close to hitting that. We had a low the other day of 103.62. Now this is the weekly chart I'm using right here just to fit more bars on the chart and make it a lot easier to see. So we had a low down here of 103.62, and the 50% Fibonacci retracement level is 101.50. So this is extremely close to getting filled. I think there will be a little bit more downside in the Roku if this is the true parabolic curve line for it, at least to get the 50% hit. Then once it does, then this parabolic curve break can be considered complete. Now sometimes it does go even lower, down to 78.6, but that isn't a guarantee. They like the 50%, because pretty much, or every time I've seen a parabolic curve, pardon me, parabolic curve get broken, I've seen it retrace at least down to the 50% level. Now, sometimes it goes to 78.6 as well, sometimes it doesn't, but it's just something to keep in mind that it could definitely go down here and hit around, $59 or something like that. But definitely the 50% level at 101.49, we're definitely looking for that to get hit for it. So those are the charts I want to go over today. I know there's been a lot of weakness. Just about 2 weeks ago, we were looking at the high of it of 176.55, and then today it's sitting over here about 107 and change. So it's definitely dropped a ton in the past 2 weeks. If this, or if that last one that I was showing, the daily long right here, if this trade is going to get initiated with that using as the a long step right there, then the stock has a ton more downside to go, all the way down to at least around $52-53 level for this to get initiated for it. But like I said, from the 1 hour chart from that trade, already in it, I already have my exit set up. If there is further weakness in it, then I will keep it at my position that goes down. All right, hope that helped. If there's anything, any forex, future stocks, or cryptocurrency you would like to see reviewed based upon the way I trade the market through my technical analysis, just let me know. I created all my own setups on my own, basically through it was through meditation, tapping into my subconscious mind. I'll put the link in the video as well, because I have step-by-step instructions of 100% free how I did it. There is a book I recommend you buy, Quantum Entrainment. Easy to read books, like, I don't know, $9-10, something like that, but that's the way I meditate. It's basically getting to the gaps, tapping into your subconscious mind, and then asking yourself to reveal the steps that work for you, because every single person in the world, your personality is different, your psychology is different, the way you think is different. No two people are the same, so therefore no two people can trade the exact same way. So there may be some people who trade very similar, tons of things, but there's always going to be at least one difference in the way they trade. So the key is to find out what works for you. It doesn't matter what works for anyone else. All what matters is what works for you, and if it makes you money. Once you find that out, then you're set and you'll be good to go. So that's why I always recommend meditation. Even if you only start out for a minute a day, just start out doing that. Build that consistency, build that habit, and then it'll start getting greater and greater. And not just in your trading, you'll start to see a lot of improvements in other areas in your life. You'll reduce your anxiety, you'll sleep better at night, you'll just become a more calmer person. So I recommend it for all aspects, because I do truly believe, calming your mind, calming those thoughts that race in your head. I know I still get them all the time. It's a daily battle, but it helps out a lot. So anyways, I'm gonna give my soapbox here. Just let me know, and have a good one. Thanks, bye.